Hi, everyone. Welcome to my workshop. It is great to have you here. As it says on my shirt, science doesn't care what you think. Physics works just fine without it. My first experiment will be proof of that. Here, next to me, you can see a 24-inch bicycle wheel, the front wheel of a bike. There are 8 mineral water bottles attached to it, each originally 1 liter, but they don't actually contain a full liter of water. Altogether, there's 80 cubic centimeters of water in them. So this is what the mineral water bottle looks like that's attached to it, right? There are 8 of these on it, and I colored the water inside with red food coloring so things would be easier to see. So what exactly should we be looking for? First of all, let's notice that in this mineral water bottle, the water is quite far from the rim, while in this bottle here, it's really close to the rim. The same goes for this bottle too. Here, it's quite far from the rim, and here, it's really close. If a weight is relatively far from the axis, then a torque is generated here, meaning the water here exerts a certain amount of force on this axis, and a torque is produced. So if I pull this bottle with my hand, and then the next one, you can see that from here the liquid continuously moves out to the edge. And here, on this side, it always comes close to the rim. All in all, we can say that in this section, the liquid is farther from the axis than it is in this section. What happens there? Well, if physics worked, or if physics worked the way some people think it does, then this would be a perpetual motion machine. This is a perpetual mobile, and that's because on this side, there is always a greater torque acting than on this side. So the perpetual motion machine is ready, since with just one push, it would keep spinning and spinning. Of course, I'm going to show you the experiment. Obviously, this wheel is going to spin, but you're probably going to think, wow, Gabor has hidden an electric motor, a magnet, or something in there again. So I'm going to show the camera exactly what this whole thing is made of. It's only fair if I bring the camera closer and show you how the whole thing is built. Here, in this part, you can see that this really is the front wheel of a mountain bike. The hub is thin. There's no way a motor would fit inside this hub. Here, you can see the bottles. They're all attached securely with zip ties. And now, I'll slowly turn this contraption just a bit. I had to put the camera back on the tripod, because this is way too heavy to hold with one hand. These black pegs here are screws that I use to make sure this plate doesn't wobble. This is a piece of furniture board. There are no extra holes in it, no extra magnets either. It's really just a furniture board. I used one at that. These, as you saw, are fittings that can be screwed together. It's held together by Hilti straps. I swear, there is no motor inside the head. So let's see how this perpetual motion machine actually works. To start the perpetual motion machine, all I have to do is give it a push, and once I push it, it keeps moving forever. And what stops the perpetual motion machine? That's a very good question. Let's move on to the experiment. I'm going to push the wheel. What I'll do is record for about 4 minutes. You'll see that it really does, so to speak, move forever for 4 minutes. I'll also bring the camera closer in the meantime. You'll also see the details along the way, that there's no motor built into it. Let's see. Pretty cool, huh? This whole spinning thing really works. Here, in this part, the ground is even farther from the axis, while here, it's closer to the axis. Well, did you see what happened? You saw that it works, even though it's a trick. Before I reveal the trick, I'll show you another experiment, because that other experiment will actually provide the solution. Science doesn't care about what I just told you here, about longer levers, shorter levers, or torque. Science is simply interested in physics, and in this case, physics is nothing more than potential energy. Obviously, you have to lift this amount of weight up to the top of the wheel, and from there, it clearly does useful work. But here, you have to invest energy. So in this part, the system gains energy, while in this part, it releases energy. Even if we eliminated all friction and air resistance, the law of conservation of potential energy still cannot be broken. In other words, the liquid lifted from here only has as much energy as we put into it, and we invested as much as the diameter of this 24-inch wheel. So let's move on to the second experiment, and the second experiment will clearly show what the trick was here. You can see some special props here next to me. I'll show them to you as well. I took this from a fan and attached it here. It's a fan blade, and I mounted a shaft onto it here. I removed the motor from the fan, or rather, I took the motor out of the fan blade. You can see there's no motor inside, but the magnet is still there. I couldn't get it out, but it won't matter at all for today's experiment. This magnet here is a speaker magnet. Here you can see I have a prop, a cap. It's completely empty. This is the cap from a spray can, and in my hand I have a bunch of size 8 nuts. And here you can see my wooden base plate. On this board, I attached two small columns made from drinking straws. And my last prop for today is this little coil twisted from iron wire. It's very simple to assemble. Here you can see the fan. Let me show you again. There is no built-in motor here at all. Actually, you didn't even see the fan itself, just the fan blade. So the whole thing is meant to serve as a bearing for this. And these nuts are here so that when I put it on, they somewhat compensate for the heavy weight of this blade. I'll thread these on one by one. And here's the coil I showed you. It's a coil made from a short-circuited iron wire, wound several times. I'll place it like this. And basically, what this whole setup does is that if I give it a push, or if any torque is applied to the shaft, then the fan blade will start to spin. Why will it spin? Well, it will start to spin because I put this cap right here, and then after I carefully place this magnet here, the magnetic field actually interacts with the coil that is located right here. This induces a current of it. This is a fake Lenz's law. So as a result, a current is induced in this device, and the resulting current then creates a torque in such a direction that it causes this fan to spin around. In the last few minutes, you saw and heard several things that could have been true, but in reality, they actually weren't. Here comes the reveal. I did this little trick here with the fan, right in this spot, to clearly and visually show you what actually caused this movement to happen in the first place. It happened specifically because a big, powerful fan, which was just out of the camera's view, positioned above the table, created a strong gust of wind, and that's what actually spun this wheel and also turned the blade. When I was planning and setting up this fan blade experiment, I thought you would probably figure out the trick as we went along, since after all, what is it that makes the fan blade spin in the first place? Well, either an electric motor spins it, or, so to speak, there's a strong draft, and the draft turns the blades. From this fan, which was positioned outside the camera's field of view, I was able to unleash forces that you couldn't see. So basically, there was a draft above the table, and that's what made it possible for this wheel to spin for several minutes. It also allowed this little paddle to spin round and round. The ring-shaped magnet, the loop, the current, and the force had absolutely no role here. This is just an illusion. I always make sure to show what the trick is. So thank you all very much for your attention and for watching. I'm glad you watched my video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.